Welcome to episode number 65 of the Eavesdrop podcast. I'm upset that we're not doing this live, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, not doing it live is definitely a bummer, because I've been watching these since you started, however long ago it was, and I've always wanted to do one live, but
yeah,
got to make do with what we got.
We do, and it's painful for me because I have this sort of view of what my podcast is and how it should be produced and all that, and I think the live component adds on to like the actual conversation, right? Like we're sitting here miles and miles, thousands of miles away. You're not looking at me. You're looking to the left of you. You're probably reading Twitter, and that never happens when we're doing.
Staring straight at you right now. Not looking.
Oh no. Don't look at the camera no more. Just look at. Oh, don't look at me. Look at the camera. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Either way, like this is the sort of. You know what I mean? Like this is the exact same scenario that we avoid by doing it live, and it sort of becomes this like true and honest conversation of what the interview is about, and for the most part. Again, and I'll say this over and over again just so people get through their brain, some people, it's like the reason I do these is because there's going to come a time in our history of esports, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 12 years from now, where somebody's going to be studying esports and what happened, how it came to be, and there's going to be a student somewhere in some college doing research on esports, and they're going to come across this podcast, and they're going to listen to 65 hours worth of content. That they're going to be able to sort of get a true feel for what of what it was like in this day and age. Anyway, Octane, Sam, Larew, Octane, ex teammate of mine. We were teammates for a little bit.
Short stint.
Yeah, I wish it would have lasted longer. She said. With
things happen.
Yeah,
it's neither here nor there. It's all good.
You were here in the HECZ quarters when the HECZ quarters was just about to pop off.
There was no carpet in the HECZ quarters when I was on.
No, there was carpet. There was carpet. Now there's no carpet.
No, it was like the blue.
Yeah, that was carpet.
Okay.
Yeah, it was checkered.
Carpet.
Yeah, what there wasn't.
Nothing. I was rolling around in chairs. I was the beginning, the birth of the HECZ quarters.
The birth of the HECZ quarters, man. There was no couches. There was no chill place. There was no TV. It was a beautiful time.
Memorabilia, nothing.
Nothing, dude. There was nothing. This wasn't here. You know what I mean? Like none of this was here. And I gotta tell you, like that whole year in which I sort of tried to invest my own money to help out a situation down the street that. I didn't want you guys to, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to create a space that was solely for the players, right?
It was a space and an idea.
A space and an idea. It's a beautiful way to put it. Yep. Dude, obviously you were on my list to have on the podcast for the longest. I feel that this week sort of warrants you to be on here because you've been very, very outspoken of your situation and how your year has gone, and I sort of want to have that conversation. And I said it in the game show, in the Huntsman pre-show that aired yesterday. I said, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year or any other year that Sam would be in a team that's ranked 11th in the league, I would have said, "Get the fuck out of here! You're out of your mind." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that point.
Yeah,
sure
so. We will get into it. First and foremost, I wanted to thank the sponsors for this podcast, DoorDash and Hims, and I'll tell you a little bit more about them as the podcast goes on. Anyway, let's get started. To piss a couple of people off, who are you today, Sam Larew?
People hate this question. I don't know why.
I'll tell you, like 15 people hate this question. Right?
Yeah, they're just like the
15 noisy little mice. No offense, or get offended. I don't care. Either way,
you can offend them. Yeah, you can offend them. Today, I am a professional Call of Duty player, and I guess I can call myself a YouTuber now. Mm-hmm. I've been playing Call of Duty for about as long as I can remember. That's been my job and my passion for again, however long it's been. And then recently this year, I've picked up YouTube, so I guess I'm a double threat now. I really thought about it.
Yeah, and look, nothing makes me happier than to see professional players diversify their portfolio in a sense. You guys are at the top of the food chain when it comes to skill and ability in a very, very popular game, and it only takes reps in order for your content to sort of make that breakthrough. The more you create, the more opportunity that you're going to have to sort of pair up with friends of yours, right? Like Courage at some point or another is going to be like, oh, Sam's available. I'm going to pick him up to compete with me in this Warzone tournament. And then, you know, you have a couple of good times. You're not just sitting there going try hard and not speaking. You're engaged. You're making jokes with Courage. His audience starts to like you. And then that's how a personality is born. I will say that I'm very happy for you. Your thumbnails are amazing. By the way,
shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Kevin for those. He's been a friend of mine for probably 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
He approached me when I started back up YouTube again. I've been doing YouTube for years and years, but it was never on a super consistent basis. I was never uploading on a schedule or anything like that. It was more so just something I really enjoyed doing. Like I used to be a YouTube sniper. I uploaded montages and stuff like that.
Really?
So I've been around the block.
Wait, how long? When were you sniping? Modern Warfare 2?
Modern Warfare 2 is when I started.
Were you in a clan, a sniping clan?
Yeah, I was a competitive sniper. You know, like sniper leaderboard for everyone watching this, like sniper leaderboards with like RM, like where Dashy started basically. Yeah. So I did all that for a super long time. I've been doing YouTube. I've been on YouTube for a while, but I was never super consistent with my content. And Kevin approached me because he runs the Rise Nation Twitter. You know, he does a bunch of other social media stuff, and he was like, "Dude, you're one of the most popular players on the planet."
Did you know that Octane got his name from a ghost map? That's where he got his name from.
Well, that's cool.
I'm not even going to refute that. It's not true, but I'm not going to refute it because I love
refuting that he said.
I'm not.
Okay, so you were a part of RM, is that right? Yeah.
I wasn't a part of RM, but that's just like the reference point. So
by that point, I had already quit competitive sniping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been following Optic for a very, very long time, man. I mean, like,
was it cool to join it?
Rated. Oh, dude, you know, I said it when I joined. It was like the pinnacle of my career at that point. Cause like, I'll admit it, I was a fanboy before I was a player. So like building myself up to the point where like joining Optic was even a possibility. That was like one of the best days of my entire life. Cause I was like, oh, I made it, dude. I was so hyped just cause like I followed before competitive, like I said, with like the sniping team and the birth of sniping essentially. So that was where my passion lied. It wasn't so much as a competitive player. Yeah. But you know, eventually it did grow into that. But Kevin told me that, you know, I'm one of the best players on the planet, and, you know, I have a good personality for doing YouTube. I'm like, I'm basically being an idiot for not doing it. He was like, I'll do your thumbnails. I'll do all this stuff. And he basically pushed me to kickstart doing it. And then I've been consistent for like 4 or 5 months by now.
Are you uploading daily or every other day, or how's
every other day?
Every other day.
I don't trust myself quite yet to do daily uploads. I'm still trying to work out a schedule for that, but every other day is something I've been able to manage. And I think doing the most that I can manage on a consistent basis is better than like trying to push myself really, really hard to do daily uploads. I'm not like during the off season when I don't have to scrim and worry about playing and all that stuff. Daily uploads are definitely going to happen. Yeah. But as of now for scrims and stuff, you know, every other day is probably the better idea.
Yeah, that's not a bad strategy. A lot of people try to jump in right away and start doing daily, and it's not for a lot of people.
It's hard to do, man.
Yeah, tell me about it. I have a camera right there, this one right here, when I started vlogging daily, and it was one of the most craziest journeys I've ever been on. I was talking to Hitch the other day. I'm like, yo, I really uploaded a video every single day of my life for a year and a half, like maybe missing 2 times.
My respect for daily vloggers is insane. Like because like you have to change your entire life for vlogging. Like, you know, if you sit at home all day and you just like order food and watch a movie, like that's not good content. So you have to like shape your life around your YouTube channel. Yeah. And like when Matt was daily vlogging when he first moved to LA, like that, like he when he stopped, he was talking about, I don't remember where, it might have been on the Eavesdrop, but he was just saying that like he got burnt out. Like he was having to create things for himself to do. Like he would go out and it was just like not enjoyable because it was for content, not for him. Yeah. So like people like Casey and, you know, like the kings of daily vlogging, it's like, it's really an art. And I have a lot of respect for people that are like able to do that every day.
You know what's fucked up? I'm going to give you a confession today.
What's up, man?
The day that Casey Neistat stopped vlogging daily, something turned off in my brain where I Where I said, no, I still did it, but I wasn't as strict as I was in the past. He was sort of like, obviously he's pioneer, like, man. Yeah, he's the pioneer. Like no one's ever gonna do it better than him. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be more technical than him. They're gonna have a little bit of a better storytelling, but you know they're only able to do that because Casey did that. Now I felt more of like I was inspired by him and his grind and the ability. I sort of thought that we were on living like a parallel sort of lifestyle. Like we had a mirror lifestyle, right? He was building a business and vlogging every single day. I was in the middle of this business, vlogging every single day, and you know, at the end of the day, creating it. It was like the craziest thing. When we used to go to events, I used to literally say, I can't go out and drink, or I can't go to dinner. I have to edit this vlog and upload.
On the hotel Wi-Fi, and it takes 8 hours to upload. And
yeah.
I've been there, man.
Dude, I got nominated a couple of days ago for 2 categories. I got nominated for esports content creator of the year and personality of the year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't the personality one. Obviously, you know, I love a little bit of me. You know what I'm saying? So nobody
who doesn't, man? Who doesn't, man?
But the content creator one, it's not that I deserve it. It's just that there's factual evidence on why I am the best content creator in all of esports.
Factual evidence,
dude. Name somebody else. Name somebody else who's done what I've done this year. Okay, I created a new brand and launched a new brand in the Chicago Huntsman. I approached and pitched the league a reality TV show surrounding the team and the launch of my team, and we essentially gave it to the league to upload on their channel. I executive produced the campaign. I don't know if you watched it. It was super dope. After that, I obviously continued to create the vlogs, and I continued to create this podcast. And then on top of that, I went and did a commercial for Game Fuel. From start to finish, it all came from here.
You might be the GOAT.
Hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done. Let me talk a little bit more about myself, man. All right,
I
love hearing myself talk.
People love when you talk about yourself on here.
They love. Well, no, there's only like 15 people that don't like it. But I'm making my case for something good. Hey, look, man, they can hate all they want. Anything that I've said, that I've been saying, is not a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like this
it's irrefutable. It's evidence. I'm not going to sit here and
I participated in more content than any other esports CEO, including my little brother Nate Shot, including him. I participated in more content.
Nate's been lacking on the content front. I'll be the one to say it. Nate's been lacking on the content this year. He's been busy.
He has been busy, but so have I. God damn it! You see me here? You're like,
there's no excuse.
No excuses out here. I've participated in a lot of content over on the Guggen Squad channel, right? I'm just a creator at heart. Look, whether I win or don't win, whether I deserve it, don't deserve it, like to me it doesn't matter. I'm gonna continue to do this no matter what. You know, when YouTube first started, did it for 2 years without getting paid. I just did it because of the love of it and wanted to create the content. Anyway, that's my pitch. Okay, so if you guys are watching this,
I mean, that's damn good.
Thank you.
I can't. That's a damn good pitch. And none of it. It's not biased either. Those are things that have happened.
Can I count on your vote for both categories?
Yeah, I'll vote for you. Hands down. I won't even look at the other nominees.
Well, there's very good ones. I'm in good company, but I create more. So for a content creator, that's me. You know what I mean? Like I just edited 3 vlogs today. Goddamn. Anyway, let's get into it.
You're editing your own vlogs?
Yeah.
What's Matt doing?
Matt's doing other important stuff. And I just like the way that I edit. You know what I mean? Like he's very technical, but
creative process.
He doesn't. It's hard for him to read my mind as to why I film certain things. When I'm filming, like I see the timeline and where I'm putting certain things. So what about you? Do you edit your own YouTube stuff or somebody else?
So I hired Revitalize to do.
Cool.
Actually, I cut everything and I sequence everything how I want it, and then he goes through and adds all the flare and lights and all that good stuff. But I sequence and edit everything how I want it ordered, similarly to what you were saying.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a lot of people that actually do that. And one thing about doing YouTube that like I don't dislike or about other creators is like when you're a YouTuber and a streamer, most of the time you're actually just a streamer and you upload the things that you stream to YouTube. And I don't really do that as doing content or
Love
view that as doing
I'm
content.
with you 100%.
So there's very few videos on my channel, maybe a handful that I have ripped from a stream. And if it's been ripped from a stream, it's like the video I uploaded today with Dashy. I just needed to stream that because that's something people would, love to see live. So I ripped that, but it's like I sit down and make every video that I upload on my channel because I don't view content creation as ripping and uploading.
Love it.
So I think that's like one thing that people don't really like understand when I say that very well, because like in today's day and age, a lot of it is just stream highlights. All YouTube videos are from stream, stuff like that. So it's a weird spot.
Speaking of creation, obviously on top of that, I'm an incredible artist. I'm kidding, I suck. But I was
wait, can we sidebar really quick? I am like the biggest fan of your art, man. Like,
thank you.
You sent me that piece, and I literally stared at it for like an hour. I was like, dude, this is insane. Because like I said, I've been watching since the Black Books like years ago, man. Like, thank you. It is insane,
dude. I saw a tweet of yours that said that you would like nothing more than to be a good artist, or that you want to be an artist, right? I was you. I'm like, my mom's a really good artist. She's
I'm
like
not
really
artistic
good
at all.
No, but I started out the same way, and if I can offer you some advice as to how to get started, like it would take me a day and a half, 2 days, or maybe never to be able to draw somebody's face. Like I can't do that. Like right, just out of my imagination, I can't do the cartoony. That's easier, but to draw somebody's face, I'm not an artist like that. But I always felt as though I was an artist. So for some reason, graffiti came across my plate, and for some reason, I understood it. Graffiti, if you start, you would become a better artist because of this. You know how to draw a letter already. That's the number one thing. You know the shape of the letter. You know what it's supposed to look like. And for you to bend an A to have one left side be more round than the other, that's just something that your brain can understand and can put on paper. And little by little, you start to develop this thing called style in graffiti. And then little by little, you start to add shapes and colors and that's how I learned how to be a decent enough artist to where I can hold my own in certain categories. But I started when I was 15 years old. I am.
I was about to say, how many years do you think it took you to get to where you're like, wow, I'm pretty good at this?
So I started drawing girls' names in 8th grade. So I was 13 years old.
Always on like loose leaf paper, just like giving it to them.
Yeah, dude, it's the easiest icebreaker, baby. You know what I mean? Like look what I made for you, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Hector. Look at this.
Yeah. What's up? Here it is. This is my beeper number. No, I'm kidding. I have a beeper.
Oh man.
But anyway, I was 13 years old, and I wanted to break the ice, and I wanted to be an artist because I saw drawings and I liked. There was something about a drawing that I said, I wish I could do that. Anyway. Yeah. That led to that, and then once I started 13. By the time I was 17 is the first time I ever painted a wall. I wanted to make sure that I was good enough on paper before I went and tried spray paint, because I was so committed to being good at that particular thing that I went down that route, and I was like, finally. And then from 17 till 25, I painted very regularly, trains, walls, I mean, you name it, rooftops, skies or billboards and shit. And after that, I was a grown up, right? I said, if I get caught, I work in a corporate environment. No, I didn't have Olivia until like 4 years after that, when I was 29. Okay. But I wanted my job. I wanted to continue to make money. I like my lifestyle, and I wasn't gonna, risk it. Anyway, I wanted to give you that piece of advice. If you start drawing letters, man, I'm telling you, you will become a better artist because your brain already understands how to draw it. It's just modifying it to be something else. And color, it's something that is appealing to everybody. And there's no rules to graffiti either. Well, there are, but you won't worry about that for a long time.
I mean, I tried it a little while ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years. It was just like I don't know what it is, but I was like in the same boat as you. I'm just naturally drawn to graffiti and like cartoon style things like that. And I tried it for a really long time, but I was just never. I guess I was expecting too much of myself probably, and I was just like never getting to where I wanted to be at. So I quit eventually.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're doing the YouTube thing right now.
I got more important things going on right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't give up on it. Like you should chase down the things that you're passionate about, and you live a happier life, in my opinion. And
it's just it's tough because my older brother is the most artistic human being I have ever like his ability, because like you said, you can't draw a face if you're just like thinking about it, right? He will sit down and draw a perfectly symmetrical, beautiful woman in like an hour, and it is the most incredible. Like he'll make up superheroes. He'll like.
I'm jealous.
I grew up like stealing the things that he would draw and like hanging them in my room.
Yeah,
like that's where it came from my love of like art and stuff like that. But I guess I'm just like aspiring to be him too much, and it's just like unrealistic.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that though either. You know what I mean? Like it's good to be inspired. It's good to be that. It's not good though when you think so highly of the person that you admire that when they quit vlogging daily, you sort of give yourself a break.
Just full circle back to the KC stat. I like that.
Yeah, so
that's a good segue right there.
Yeah. So again, you know, from a content creation standpoint, I'm glad that you're doing it. It makes you a more valuable player. Maybe not necessarily in the field, which you already are, but it definitely offers a little bit more when it comes.
It's more appealing.
Yeah, more appealing to an organization that's trying to pick somebody up. You know,
it's been so fun, man.
I'm the king of keeping the players that I've worked with for a very long time just because they're good at content. And a lot of people don't like that, right? They don't like that I'm still friends with Embos, even though sometimes he's a little lazy or super lazy. Maniac, same thing. Obviously, he's obviously he has his own shit going on, but you know, again, everybody goes through certain things in their lives that don't necessarily that. But if I need them for content, they're there, and as long as they can make the majority of the people laugh, I couldn't give a fuck less what those 15 people think, ever. You know, I've done a really good job at only caring about what my peers think and the people that I admire. Otherwise, like, why am I doing this, right? Anyway, Call of Duty, dude. I will say this. Is there double jeopardy in Call of Duty? Are you familiar with the term double jeopardy?
Meaning what?
If you commit a murder, for example, and you get tried for that murder, you get convicted. You can't be tried for the same.
In Call of Duty, what would you mean?
Like if you talk about what happened last week, are you gonna get fined again?
Yeah, I will be. Yes, I will be.
Really
swiftly fined again.
Really? So if you talk about you know your actions last week, you will be fined.
Yes, I will. I will most likely be fined.
Okay, well then let's
I'm not going to get. Yeah, like, I mean, we can talk about it. I just can't, you know, disrespect the league in any way. I can talk about it in like a very non-biased, objective opinion.
Well, let's start there. You know, at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of this whole thing, right? Like this is something new to everybody, including the league. And at times, I've been a little bit of a shield for the league because, you know, for the game, not for the league, but for the game, because the developers and the creators of the video game set out to create a piece of art that's interactive and other people get to do that. And at no point did they set out to create a sport. We turned it into a sport. We then turned it into a spectator sport. And we then turned it into a legitimate sport by franchising and paying millions and millions of dollars into it. So everybody's sort of finding their footing in all of this. But some of the stuff that you were saying last week resonated not only with me and the owners, but also with the players. You know, there is a little bit of work that needs to happen on both sides, and to not hold everybody accountable. Like if we weren't paying players, okay, if we were not playing players and then treating them like shit, if we weren't taking care of their insurance, or if we weren't providing housing, or the league would have a lot to say about that. Right? Because we need to be held accountable to do what we say on paper that we're going to do. And I think that is the same, and we should hold them to the same contract that we have amongst each other. This three-prong venture that we're embarking on, right? The league, the orgs, and the players, like it's going to go nowhere if one of those three prongs isn't fully committed to doing this. So we have been very, very critical of the league in calls, and the league has been very, very receptive of those things. And it's really easy to blame them. It's really easy to talk shit to them. It's really easy to just like throw everything in their plate. But behind the scenes, they are like they themselves are tough on their own situation, how they're handling certain things. But at times, there's no excuse, and at times you need people to be boisterous, as you were last week, in order to invoke some sort of change to happen.
That's exactly the reason that I did what I did. And, you know, for those of you guys that actually saw the tweets, because the league may or may not have asked me to delete them, I probably went about it the wrong way in the wording and how aggressive they were, but I would do it again in a nicer way. Like, even though I've been fined, I've had meetings with the league since then, obviously, like that's a bullet that I'm willing to bite. Like if I have to suffer a fine to move the league forward in terms of communication and like just overall due process, then like that's fine. Monetary value as opposed to like how well the league is being ran is not comparable. So I think me like saying what I said, although it was aggressive, I think it was very needed because the situations that we've been put in this year, specifically on my team, there's a lot of examples across the board, but they're kind of unexcusable in my opinion. I'm not going to get too into it, but since I tweeted those things and you brought up like me doing that is moving things forward, I've had 3 meetings with league officials since that day that I would have otherwise not had. I could go ask and they'd be like, yeah, we'll get to whenever, like this isn't really a pressing issue, but like because I made it an issue, I got an audience with people that mattered at the league. We talked for at length hours for over the last couple of days about things that could change, why I said what I said, and like you said, the league was very receptive. There was no disrespect. I took my fine on the chin as I should have, and the work that the reason that I made those tweets to begin with, the work has started. So, I had a couple hour meeting last night going over things for replay rules, the ref situation that I had mentioned in my video, just overall quality of life things for players that far outweigh a monetary fine that people seem to think that I'm like scared of or whatever. Like that's just overall quality of life for players is more important to me. So I'm happy that, I took that fine on the chin, but I'm moving things forward, and that's kind of all I care about.
Well, thank you for that. Obviously, like everybody that is moving this thing along and pushing it forward, no matter the means or how it's done, it's solid by me. You know what I mean? Because we do need to be better. Orgs need to be better. Players need to be better. And you deleting and realizing that the approach may have not been the best one is fine. But in the heat of the moment, when so much is at stake, right? Because if you were playing for money, then you wouldn't have said what you said, right? If you were playing for your salary, you wouldn't have said what you said, right? You wouldn't have stood up for it. You're the majority of the people, and I mean this, the majority of the players that I've ever come across, all of them, for the most part, play to win. They don't. The money's nice. The salary's nice.
Yeah, there's very few people that go in playing for money.
Yeah,
it's just the competitive drive that people have that is the reason that people compete in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone in Call of Duty that has started playing strictly for money. That's like not really a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like I know that's the case, right? And I know that when you sort of take that approach and you feel something. You feel for something so deeply that you become somebody that you're normally not, right? You, Sam Larew, are a quiet, stand-up dude. I've never seen you involved in any drama. Like even when we had Krim over here tossing,
throwing headsets, mix amps,
mix amp,
yep,
all the way across here. Like you were still quiet. Like literally, have never seen you be the guy to start shit. You know what I mean?
It's just the culmination of everything, man. Like I'm not going to get into it, but like my team has been on the short end of the stick so many times this year, and like that London series was so important for us because if we had beaten them, then that was their last tournament. I think they were in like 8th at the time, so like that was an opportunity for us to jump places. And LAG had already lost. These are all teams that are close to us in the standings. Like realistically, that was the most important series of our entire year, barring champs, and we didn't even get to finish it. So like. The way that the situation was handled, I just lost my mind. I said it in the video. Like I freaked out. And normally, again, you said like I'm a very quiet, reserved person, but like that's probably the most mad I've been in a very, very, very long time. And again, like the approach wasn't great, but the ends do justify the means in this situation, which is rare. But I mean, like I said, I'd do it again.
Yeah. So again, it warranted me reaching out to you to see if you would come on the pod. I mean, again, I wish it would have been in person, but. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and here we are. Anyway, so I was surprised that you were so forward. I was surprised that you really went out of character and went out there, and I know that it meant that much to you. Again, not because of your salary, not because of the price, but because of the wins. And when you have a year that isn't as as stellar as your previous teams or career has been, you know that there's something that isn't necessarily all there. I will continue to say this over and over again. Nobody expected COVID to happen. It's nobody's fault. We're all trying to live and react to a situation that happened in our world, whether it's the right thing to do or not. We won't know until we sort of enact the things that we need to do. In this case, going to online. If you think about the alternative, right, which is postponing the league on year one till 2021, not knowing what 2021 holds, is by far the last thing that we should have done. If there's money on the table for players to be able to capitalize on and sort of win and put in the pockets if they're able to set their future up, you got to go after it, right? Like, what or what else are we supposed to do?
No, I never agreed with the whole postpone the league thing. Like, even if the situation isn't optimal to run a league, like, this year has allowed so many problems to come out and be solved in year one, which is what a year one of the league is for in the first place. It's not going to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So I think that I don't want to call it a dry run, but like seeing what's happened this year and how to run the league and all the issues that have arisen is far more important than, you know, postponing the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like it was a decision easily made. Like I've said it before, like we spent close to 2 weeks debating whether or not champs should be online or not, whether or not we should create a player bubble. Which reminds me, right? Like obviously you've seen what's happening in the NBA. You follow NBA closely. Yeah. Okay, so they all went down to Orlando. Yeah, so they're all sitting there. Is that something that you would personally be cool with? Like next year, let's say, for whatever reason, 2021 starts out the same way that this year has gone so far, and we're still under quarantine. We still have these things. Would you be willing, if all of the league teams and whatever decided that everybody's moving to Orlando? Okay, I'm not going to say Texas because obviously I live here, so I'm super biased. Yeah. Everybody said, we're moving to Colorado, okay?
You got to relocate.
Everybody's got to relocate to a neutral zone. Let's call it Las Vegas so everybody can have a little bit of fun. Would you do that? Would you quarantine yourself?
Absolutely.
You would?
Without a doubt. I'd not even a second thought about it.
You would. So that's
yes.
That I think that there is. I personally think that there is nothing wrong with sort of doing that. If
I don't either. That's like I had some tweets about it. Like when the champs announcement went live, it was like obviously it's a hard atmosphere to navigate with, you know, quarantining and the risk factors and all that stuff. But like the bubble thing sounds pretty great to me. Like it's like the Columbus League, like
exactly
a lot more. You know,
more teams, more regulation.
Yeah, I get to go play Call of Duty with all my friends in one nice little area. That sounds great to me, and I get to play on land.
Yeah, there's a lot of players out there that, you know, obviously are a little bit of they have a little hermit in them, and they want to stay home and they don't want to leave, and this is like their super comfort zone. But I do think that there's a possibility for us to do that. Not only that, but from a content perspective, I just see the
imagine
whole thing.
It. The reality TV show you brought up at the very top of the episode. Imagine that.
Imagine that
everyone together in one area with a camera on at all times.
Camera on at all times. Confessionals, the same way that the Road Rules was done, the same way Jersey Shore was done, minus the clubbing and the drinking and all that. I think,
dude, it would be an incredible content. It'd be a goldmine.
It would, dude. It would. Not only that, but it would sort of put the league in a better spot, right? Like it would show the league's commitment to entertainment, which is obviously a super, super important part of it. The competitive integrity would be priority number one because everybody would be live. Everybody would be able to see what everybody's doing. You have cameras
commitment to the players too from the league. Like them even attempting to do that in the first place just shows a huge like sign of faith in the players and that relationship right there.
Think about the Warzone Sundays or whatever. Like everybody, but didn't we do that in Ohio?
Yeah, there were blackout tournaments in Ohio. They were super small, but that was like the beginning of the Warzone.
Dude,
idea. Yeah,
I remember shitting on Classic as he was jumping out of the window with my MP5, just gunned him. I was so hyped. I'm like, I killed a fucking pro player.
Dude, the Warzone tournaments are very fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
Like when Rambo won, the reaction on social media, even in the pro player Discord, because those are pre-recorded, obviously.
Yeah.
The pro player Discord when Ray ran over the last guy with a truck, you couldn't even read the chat. People were just laughing.
Yeah,
this guy's the GOAT, dude.
Bro, the way he was laughing made me want to cry.
Yeah. It's So just imagine the possible, all these players together. And I know a lot of different people in different esports. They always say that work within different esports. Call of Duty is the best personality esport on the planet.
Of course.
Without question. League of Legends, CSGO, whatever it is. Call of Duty has the best opportunity for content strictly from a personality perspective.
Yep.
And if it's just everyone together, man, that is a gold mine.
Yeah, I think it's more of an American thing than anything else. Obviously,
that's probably what it is.
Yeah, look, if you think about everything that we've done, it's all about being braggadocious, and it's all about whatever. If you think about League of Legends and the Asian culture, they're very, very respectful. Everything they do is a reflection of self. And I wish I had that sort of discipline too, where I took myself a little bit more serious and had a little bit more self-respect to where I wouldn't do that. But then I wouldn't be me, right? You wouldn't be you, Scump wouldn't be Scump, and et cetera, et cetera. And if you think about CSGO's got a lot of good personalities, but there's a language barrier there, whether you're Brazilian and Portuguese and you have that language, and then you have the Spaniards, and then you have the Russians, the Ukrainians, what else is out there? Just think about everything, right? The Swedish, everybody, right? Like Polish. There's a lot of. There's not enough ability, or you don't have the ability to have the same amount of banter that we do here. And I think that's one of the main reasons that we have that thing, especially, right? And obviously we have a leg up because since 2009, 2010, Call of Duty has been 2006, Call of Duty has been at the top of the food chain on YouTube content. It was the first true video game that everybody created a community around. Machinima was sort of a catapult that helped us excel.
Machinima.
You remember that?
Of course, come on, man,
dude. Dude,
when you tweeted, I don't know how long ago, when they deleted all of your Sniper's Nest, dude, I felt for you, man.
Top 5 kill cams of the week.
Yep,
I was so
felt
mad
for you, man. Dude, I love those videos.
I would have loved to re-upload those to the HECZ vault.
Is that montage that has 8 million views or whatever still on YouTube, or did that get taken down too?
That one we uploaded to
opener on Favela, the montage.
It's still up there. It's still up on the Optic channel. Still the most viewed sniper montage ever. Pamaj beat me to it, but he uploaded it to the Face channel. So
I mean, dude, just thinking about sniping Predators,
that got deleted too. Think about that.
Predators got deleted?
Yeah, but I mean, Logan obviously uploaded it to his own channel, so it's still live somewhere.
But the original got deleted.
Yeah, so there's no more I think it had 4 million views. It was such a good. It was
staple montage.
It's a staple montage. It was up there with The Matrix. It was up there with Stevie 9 Lives. It was up there with Climax Ooze, Overused. Dude, it is. I'm biased in saying this, but no other video game community has had the history that we have had documented as much as we have documented our shit.
That's why I wanted to bring it up at the top of the episode when you were talking about the student who wants to go back and watch 65 hours worth of Eavesdrop. There are videos from 2009 or whenever on YouTube of whatever from Call of Duty. It could be anything.
Yeah,
the entire lifespan of YouTube history is for the most part is still there.
Yeah.
So I still have videos from 2010 when I'm sitting in my bedroom with a tripod recording my screen when I'm sniping. Those are staple things.
I think I've seen that video of you where you're holding the iPad and you're like, look, he threw a stun. He threw a stun.
Oh yeah, that's what we're doing. He threw a stun. Look, guys, as you can see.
Bro, that video is legendary. We'll never get old. It's so good. So
my
again,
teammate App says that in scrims every time he gets stunned.
Does he really?
He threw a stun.
Apathy is another dude that is excellent at creating content. Has been creating YouTube content for a very long time. And again, it's the think about. We talked about this last time with Seth, but if you look at TP has been streaming for such a long time. Right, and then just last year or the year before that started to blow up. I mean, obviously now he's where he's at, right? But it took a long time for him to get there. So everybody that's discouraged is the same person that doesn't have the patience to sort of wait it out and be that. But we have nothing but time. You know what I mean? Like, where are you? What
Yeah.
else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
dude, I speaking of Teep, I remember when I was on the team. I'm gonna bring up the DM right now because I actually sent it to him. When I was on the team, he and I were sitting in the Columbus apartments, and he was like, "Dude, I just want to stream." Like, we were playing league play in the living room. He's like, "Man, I can't wait to become a streamer, content creator. It's something I'm passionate about." I'm like, "Dude, you could easily do it." And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm coaching. I don't have the time. Like all this stuff." And I DM'd him a week ago, and when he hit like 32K subs or whatever astronomical number he's at right now, and I was like, "Dude." I was like, "Do you remember that conversation we had?" And he was like, "Of course I do, man." So like I tell him all the time, the come up that Tyler had from the convo 2 years ago when I was on the team to where he is right now is absurd. And the number one thing is like no one is outgrinding Tyler. 0 people. There is not. I like other than maybe like Nick, because Nick's my favorite streamer. I absolutely love Nick. But Tyler is on at the same time every day. For until whenever he chooses to turn his stream off. He is grinding every day. He wants it more than the next guy. And like I'm so happy for him and the results that he's had, because it's like every time I see those 30,000 subs, I'm like, dude, we had a conversation 3 years ago in some random living room in Columbus, Ohio about you being a streamer. And here he is.
Dude, so. He's one of us. And if there's one thing about the Call of Duty community and everybody that started in Call of Duty is that we take care of our own. We are proud of the accomplishments of our own. And since he is one of us, then there's nothing like he's it, right? Like he's going to be one of our heroes. He's the guy that we talk about. I talk about Jordan because he was, I was in Chicago and I was, boy, if you're from Boston, you talk about Larry. If you're from LA, you talk about Magic. If you're from Ohio, you talk about LeBron. Because he is one of them, the same way that TP is, the same way that Courage is, the same way that Nadeshot is. Like
all of them.
Yeah, like and if you think about it, like we're all flawed, right? We're all human. We all have this, but one thing that we do is we do a good job at being proud of the people that transcend our esport, and we're very, very supportive of that. And no matter what, even those 15 Redditors that don't like me, guess what? I'm yours, okay? Whether you want me or not, guess what? I'm yours.
You're stuck with me. You're stuck with me.
I do it for you, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I do it for y'all. All right, so going back to it, how has the league treated? Well, this new league format treated you? Obviously, you had a super successful run with 100 Thieves the year before that, and here you come with Seattle Surge. I think I was just talking about it on the show yesterday. There are two logos.
Okay.
There are 2 logos that I've fallen. I'm not in love, right? There's only I've liked a lot, right? If I was to rank outside of the Huntsman logo, if I was to rank the logos as the best ones in the league, well, if I'm gonna remove 2 logos out of that ranking, I think Seattle Surge is number 1, and the second one, no bullshit. At first, everybody was like, "What the fuck is that?" But now that you've seen it for a whole year, you cannot tell me that the Florida Mutineers logo isn't one of the.
That was one of my favorite ones when it was released.
Yeah,
it was very, very good.
At first, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Right? And
no, I agree 100%. When their branding came out, I thought it was really well done. But our branding was crazy because we were on the team before the branding or logo or anything was announced. So like seeing the process of the branding being created and announced and everything, I think we got some of the best, if not the best in the league. Unfortunately, we're in 11th. Yeah, but I think the branding is really good.
Yeah, no, they did an excellent job.
Yeah.
Dude, it's insane. Anyway, so back to the question: How has the league, the new league format, from a professional player for you specifically, gone?
At first, with the announcement of how it was going to be ran with the homestands and stuff, I wasn't really on board at first, and the reason being is just I'm so accustomed to open events and the open atmosphere and the way that Call of Duty has been run traditionally for however many years it's been. I wasn't really on board with the whole homestand idea. Not every team is there. It wasn't really like Call of Duty from what I'm used to. And I'm still kind of feeling like that. I don't really think that people hold the homestands as important as open events. And I think that's fair to say. So I think like the atmosphere of like an Anaheim, a grand final of Anaheim last year with like us and Gen.G, or, London with us and United, like that isn't happening. Like that isn't there. It's not the same. So I like the idea of homestands. If if every team was there, and if they were run a little bit differently, I think it would be a much better idea. And I like the idea of traveling everywhere though, because again, more travel is always nice to see different places and experience different things. And then obviously with coronavirus, that's not possible. But moving forward with the league format, depending on how they choose to carry on from this year, I think that if the homestand idea is expanded upon, and if the league takes player feedback the way that they have so far, I think that it could create a really, really cool system which integrates both sides of past and current Call of Duty.
All right. Before I continue on with my question, let me take a quick break. Let me say hello to the sponsors really quickly. All right, just give me a second while I give a quick shout out to the sponsors. DoorDash. Thank you so much. You guys keep coming back and sponsoring the podcast, and I can't thank you enough. I use you daily, so of course I feel extra good about that because I do use it daily. Literally just ordered slushy from across the street, and it's across the street. But it's so gosh darn hot here in Texas that I didn't want to walk across. So again, thank you so much for that. And look, between the never-ending laundry cycles and incoming emails, you've got plenty to do on your to-do list. Give yourself one last thing to worry about. Give yourself the break of having somebody else cook for you, right? Why not pick one of your favorite restaurants, one of your favorite meals from your favorite restaurants, order that on the way home from work, time it perfectly so you and your food get there at the same time, and all you have to do is grab it from the door because there's contactless delivery to abide by all the safety concerns that there are around COVID-19. This obviously helps a ton with that. You've counted on restaurants before, and now they are counting on you. Local restaurants obviously need as much business as they can, and this allows you to still support them, still support yourself by eating the great food that you usually get from there, and at the same time, help out the community, right? Because while their dining rooms may be closed, they're still open for delivery, especially and only with DoorDash. DoorDash is the application that brings food to you, the ones you're craving, right to your door. Ordering is easy. Opening the DoorDash application, choose the type of food that you want to eat. There are over 300,000 restaurants, 300,000 partners of DoorDash in the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, and you can support your local go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Chipotle, Wendy's, the Cheesecake Factory, Fruitylicious from across the street that I just ate. Many of your favorite local restaurants are still open for delivery. Just open the DoorDash application, select your favorite local restaurant, and your food will be left at your door. DoorDash deliveries are now contactless to keep communities we operate in safe. Right now, our listeners can get $5 off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash application and enter code Eavesdrop. I don't know anybody that orders anything less than $15. So if you do, you need to step your food game up and enjoy life a little bit more. That's $5 off and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash application in the App Store and enter code EAVESDROP. Don't forget, that's code Eavesdrop for $5 off your first order with DoorDash. And one more time. You want me to say it one more time for the people in the back? It's $5 off and zero delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash application and put code Eavesdrop. Our second sponsor is forhims.com, another sponsor that keeps on returning, keeps on coming back, which means that you guys are checking it out, and I certainly appreciate that. I specifically appreciate everybody that supports the sponsors that support this podcast. I certainly appreciate that. First of all, going to the doctor is awkward, especially when you're going to visit for hair loss, for erectile dysfunction, whether or not you want to figure out if there are COVID tests. Like, this is the place for you to go. Forhims.com allows you to explore everything without the awkward visits to a doctor's office, right? All the consultations are done online, which is good because you have that sort of, intermediary that is the internet that allows you to check it out. Because, look, there are occasions where 66% of men start to lose their hair by the age of 35. Okay, so if you're under the age of 35 and you're going bald, it's not too late. Okay, does it seem like you're moving ahead in life, but your hairline is moving backwards? Maybe your dad had to settle for a hair loss, but thanks to Hims, you don't have to. It's time to prevent more hair loss, and no better time than while you still have some hair left on the top of your head. Okay, thanks to science, hair loss can be optional. Right? Hims connects you to FDA-approved products to treat hair loss. They have thousands of happy customers loving their results. Time at home is an opportunity for self-care. HIMS will connect you to licensed medical professionals online to answer your questions for free and to see if FDA-approved products to treat your hair loss are right for you. If approved, products will be shipped directly to your door in discreet packaging. Again, this is all about the comfort of your own home, and this allows you to stay on top of your game on all levels, in the secrecy of your home, the comfort of your own home. Look, anyone can make claims about treating hair loss, but if you're not happy after 90 days, just email HIMS for a full refund, and that's what they will give you. Today, for example, HIMS is giving you the best offer yet. If you're not happy with your results after 90 days, HIMS will give you a full refund, and right now, my listeners can get their 5 first visits absolutely free. Go to forhims.com/eavesdrop5. That's forhims.com/EAVESDROP5 to get your first trials. A full refund of price paid available for the first 90 days supply. Refund request must be made between 90 and 180 days after the product shipment has been delivered. Prescription products require an online consultation with a medical professional who will then determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply, obviously. See websites for full details and important safety information. Get your first visit absolutely free by going to http://forhims, forhims.com/EAVESDROP5 and get your discount, get your treatment in the comfort of your own home. No awkward visits. Go check them out. And again, super, super thank you and huge shout out to both DoorDash and ForHims. Back to you, Octane. All right, so we're back. I think that the format that we have now, well, the thing is this, right? And I've talked about it before. Originally, it was supposed to be single homestands or 4 teams only go to every homestand.
Yeah, that was the original pitched idea at the beginning of the year.
That was the original one.
Yeah,
right.
And then they got player feedback at the LA here's our brand new league meeting, and every player in the room was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
This is, and then we all went home, and 2 days later, they were like, "Here's our new idea."
Well, so Hasser and I were in the, well, look, every team owner is super involved. They believe in this thing, and they're they're passionate about it. They asked, they're like, "Well, what does Hector and Mike have to say about this thing? We need to hear from them. They've been here from the beginning. They built this thing, blah, blah, blah." And I were like, "Yo, no. We can't. No. Let me tell you how this is gonna go, right?" Yeah. And it's obviously they don't know, right? They understand it. They're passionate, but they don't have 10 years of institutional knowledge of what it is that happened.
Sorry to interject here, but that's a weird thing. I don't know if it's like this in other leagues, but I feel like the owners and the players have so much more experience and just been around Call of Duty so much more than the people that are working for the league and running the league.
Yeah.
So the level of back and forth, sometimes it gets a little twisted because they're coming from a how to run a league perspective, and we're coming from okay, I played Call of Duty for 15 years of my life. So that back and forth is a little weird, but I've never been in a situation where say they'll come to you and Mike or us players okay, how do we do this? It's because we've worked with Adam in the past and MLG and all these guys, and they've been around the block, they know what's going on. So every now and then they would go to players for certain feedback on things if it was a really important situation.
Yeah.
But now it's okay, we're running a franchise $300 million or whatever league. They're coming to us because we have to fix a rule. The technical delay rule would be a perfect example when we were playing against Atlanta. So it's just a really weird back and forth that I think sometimes kind of gets twisted with the level of experience on both sides.
Yeah. Look, at first I was a little bit doubtful of how this thing was going to go. Obviously, having brand new people, Johanna Ferry's the commissioner of the league, coming from the NFL, no experience in Call of Duty. I'm worried, right? I'm worried. But the more we get to know her, the more that we see how vested she is in this league and how she's taken personal pride in making sure that this thing's gone. I'm super, super confident in the fact that we're in good hands if she continues to be at the helm of the mediator between us,
she's a She's a great anger translator.
Yes, exactly. Right. You have you have us, the endemics. The like,
she's a very
like, oh, we're fucking personalities out, kill.
Like, exactly. Like I was in that meeting that I brought up earlier, and I was talking to Alex and the other guys that work for the league, and I was like getting a little heated because of the situation that I was in.
Yeah.
And Johanna was like, "Okay, Sam, like we understand." And I was like, "Okay." Like I like her a lot. She's definitely growing on me.
Yeah. Everybody likes her a lot. So she's really good. Again, I'm confident in the fact that we're in good hands if she continues to fight for us the way that she's been. But again, it's one of those things where we are all finding our footing. Well, maybe not us, because we've done this for as long as we've
refinding our footing.
Yeah, we're refinding our footing in this new world. I'm finding myself in this new world, right? Like I'm sort of transported to the beginnings of the old team as I was building it with everybody.
I wanted to ask you at some point during this is like, do you feel the correlation of the building the Huntsman brand and building Optic at all?
Yeah, of course. Because
are you just doing the same things that you were with Optic, the same ideas and stuff like that, just with the Huntsman with better things at your disposal?
Yeah, sort of. It's easier now because all the mistakes that needed to be made were made very early
now you're just flying by. Now you're just brand 101.
Yeah, but now it's like
don't talks when you retire.
Yeah, you start every meeting with like, we're not gonna do this, right? Like this is why we're not gonna do this. And the good thing about YouTube and sort of recording and tabulating the amount of mistakes that you've made, and then you compare that to the number of mistakes that you haven't made, again, is only a testament to what it is. For me, to be honest, man, it's like it's been good for us. Everybody, like for everybody that lived at 60-50, everybody that lived at McAlpin, everybody that was on the old team at some point, like it's the same feeling that Nate had when he built 100 Thieves to as big as it is today, right? Like I'm having the same sort of, like, we're not one-hit wonders, right? It wasn't this thing that we only did once. Like this is physical proof that we know what we're doing, right? Like that we learned a lot and we are able to implement that thing over and over and over again. And our model has worked not just in esports, but you see it also in fishing with the Guggen squad, right? Like they constantly talk about how they took the Optic playbook essentially and then applied it to that industry, and that industry has blown up. And you see it, right? You see it across every single one of our pieces of content. For us is about creating something that's going to make people feel something, right? Aside from entertainment and happiness. If you're sad when Nick goes and sits down on a chair, and when you're sad when a team goes away and everybody feels something, and then you feel the ups and downs of a storyline that you're watching, and you're able to sort of connect and actually feel something, that's why we do what we do, right? Because it'd be really easy for me to get out there and just upload trivias and upload this, that, and the other, but to not have a mind or a vision as to what and how you want to present the things that we're doing, it'd be really easy for me to say, all right, we're picking up Big Timer. Make the announcement, we welcome Big Timer to the to Energy Fam, or we welcome TST to the Energy Fam, and that's that. That's an announcement. No. Like, we're going to do something, right? We already know that we do that. The public doesn't know, right? The public doesn't know what's there. Why the fuck am I just going to give them something, an announcement? Why don't we for free? Why don't we just out of nowhere twist the camera and point it towards somewhere else, right? Yeah. I knew that I was going to acquire the Complexity team. No, not Complexity. The CLG team, the CLG Halo team.
I will never in my life forget when Lethal sat down on that couch, dude.
Yeah.
Never.
Exactly. And we knew that was happening, right? I had already made that move. I had already talked to Nick. I had already talked to Flamesword. I said we gave it a shot, blah, 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 blah. Right? And it's not that it's scripted, but it's not that it wasn't planned out. It would have been really easy to say, we fucking picked up this team and blah, blah. But the way that we did it made somebody feel something. And it's not scripted, but it's also not something that we just give you just because. And when you're able to make people feel something because you can, then you really feel the connection with an audience that makes you feel invincible almost, and inspires you to do it over and over and over and over and over again.
Some real, like, Jordan Belfort sell me this pen that you're throwing at me right now.
Sell you this pen?
Yeah, that's the same thing you're throwing at me right now.
Yeah, look, it's to me again. I've watched so many movies, so many programs, so many shows that I know what it's like to do that. And again, you know, being creative and a creative person sort of helps in ideating how it is that you want to present something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, Matt's taking the reins on that too. Like the way that 100 Thieves is, I don't know how much of it is his decision. Obviously, he has a whole production team, but like the way that they're announcing people and the way that they go about adding new things to their brand is like very Optic-esque. And obviously, you know, he learned some of that from you.
Yeah,
so, like, seeing,
well,
you know,
from
Jack's
each other.
Announcement or Nico, exactly. So like Jack's announcement or Nico's or whoever, like they're not just saying, you know, oh, Nico joined 100 Thieves, here's your thing. It's like, okay, here's this whole storyline dating back 3 months to videos that we've made. Here's how this interjects and like all this stuff. So I think that building connections between brands and people is like you said, it's just the best way to go about doing things, rather than just saying, oh, Nico's joined 100 Thieves.
And you know what's crazy is that it takes nothing more than to just fucking point at something and click record. You know, record everything, whether you use it or not, doesn't fucking matter. You still have something to sort of show in the future. You know, when Infinite happened, I think Nate Shot had just announced 100 Thieves, or something was happening, right? Like I sat down with Chris Cheney and with Jay, and we were having a meeting, one of the first meetings we were having, and they're like, "All right, who's our competition?" And obviously, me being me is like, nobody's our fucking competition. We got to focus on what we're doing. Don't look at somebody else. Let them do whatever it is they're doing. Let's do our own. And everybody's like, well, you know, is Face a competition? I'm like, well, yeah, absolutely. Face is everybody's competition because they operate in many different blah blah blahs. But I did say, I'm like, no one's our competition. Like, period. Like we make our own lane. We're telling our own story. And I said, no, I don't know. And then a week later, Nate Shot, or 2 weeks later, Nate Shot announced 100 Thieves. I remember like walking over to as I was walking through the hallways there at the old Infinite offices, I see Chris and I'm like, yo, did you see the announcement? He's like, yeah, Nate Shot. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that competition. That's our competition, because he co-wrote this book. You know what I mean? Like he was part of the original content team that turned the YouTube video game world upside down, and we carved that path.
From Lil Sack and TNT run to 100 Thieves, man.
Dude, it's, you know what's crazy about that is that imagine how many times people experience those same sort of scenarios, but because Nate Shot happened to record that interaction and was smart enough to say, I'm going to make a piece of content out of this. I'm going to be fun about this. I'm not going to be an asshole to this little squeaky voiced kid.
Oh, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I got inspiration from that video on a video I did about a month and a half ago. Like I met this kid in League Play. He was like I was messing with him. He thought I wasn't actually me, just playing on like my account. And I was like, yeah, dude, like who's your favorite player? Like, do you think Octane is good? Like all this stuff, just messing with him. And I was streaming the whole thing, and I had like 5,000 viewers, and I ended up making a video out of it. Like I invited him to play, figure out who I was, and it was like a very Lil Sack-esque video. And it's like, that is something that if Matt never did, like maybe I wouldn't have gotten that idea, and that piece of content that arose from Matt's idea never would have happened.
Yeah, I mean Jack and
like Connor. Jack, you know?
Yeah, think about that, man. It's just like
I mean, that's an actual friendship too. That's not like, oh, I'm doing this content thing. That's like, okay, I've paid, like, you know, I've got this guy set up, you know, apparel. I've helped him however I can. So
yeah, and like he's
cool to see as well.
He literally like sat down with that dude's parents and was like, all right, this is how you should pay for college, or how you should. Like, it's crazy. Like Jack is such a good fucking.
He started his own YouTube channel, everything.
It's opportunities like that you just have to like take and run and not look back. It's opportunities like that where you just like sort of fall into the role, and there's nothing, you don't know anything else. But I set out to be a content creator, and all of a sudden I'm taking care of like little, you know, 17 to 18-year-olds, and then I have this title above my head that says CEO. Where I'm like, I'm not cut out to be a CEO, and it's just like I sort of fell into that role, and through common sense, I was able to build something cool with the people that I love as my brothers to create something cool. And I think that's the moral of the story, right? Like if you do things right, if you take, especially in this day and age, right? Especially with everything that we're going through in society right now, in gaming, in the gaming society that we live in. When you're on camera for as much as we've been on camera, as much as you are on camera, like if you're a bad person, it's gonna come out.
It's gonna come out, yeah.
If you're a shady person, it's gonna come out. If you're somebody that fucks people over, it's going to come out.
Especially in cancel culture.
Yeah, dude. In the worst time, right? Like you are gonna get caught out, especially in cancel culture as we live in today. I don't know. It's one of those things. So, as we head into champs, or the last event of the season next week, and then after that, 3 weeks after, we have champs. I don't want to talk about your possibilities of winning, because I mean they're always there. You're a competitor at heart.
Yeah. Our ability, we could probably win. We'll see.
Yeah, you don't think you can? I think you can.
I think I have apathy. He's my trump card, champs.
Yeah, exactly. Right, like this dude shows up.
Can't go no.
Let's talk about 2021, and then I'll let you go. I know that you haven't eaten. What do you hope?
I'm gonna film a World War II video after this.
Are you World War II?
World War II.
Are they? Is the server still up?
I would assume so. The game is about 3 years old.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you one thing, okay? During Call of Duty 4, and this video is somewhere on my channel. During Call of Duty 4, I went back to play Call of Duty 2, and as soon as I spawned in on a horse in Call of Duty 2. So the servers that you may have known may not be there.
I don't think I'm spawning on a horse, Hector.
You listen, dude. You might. One time I spawned into a Modern Warfare 2 lobby, and I was a jet. I was a fighter jet.
Yeah, love a good J-tagged Modern Warfare 2 lobby.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
anyway, 2021. We're off track. 2021.
Dude, the Eavesdrop podcast is nothing but off-track conversations.
That's true.
The Eavesdrop podcast is an ADHD sufferer's playground, baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I caught myself on camera being super ADHD. I was shooting a gun. Right, I was shooting the sniper. Did you see my shot? 925 yards.
25.
So I get up and I'm talking to Rob, and then a massive spider web in a bush catches my eye, and I'm like, all right. So if you turn the, I'm like, oh my god, look at that. Pea brain, dude, pea brain. And you know what it was? It was the day that we were supposed to do the podcast that I had to get off because I woke up at 2:39. So by 11 a.m. after I'm baking in the Texas sun on a fucking wooden platform shooting guns, my brain was already fried. So every little thing was just catching my eye and my attention. So 2021.
Yeah.
What do you hope 2021 looks like? Because there's rumors that we're going to continue on this COVID trend, that we're going to continue to be online, and that there's apparently going to be 3 homestand events or something like that. What are your thoughts?
Well, number one, I obviously we don't know with the unpredictability of COVID and stuff like that, but I hope that all of the things that we've learned from the online league this year are implemented and improved upon. Number one. Number two, for me personally, is I'm just going to continue doing YouTube and stuff like that. As I said earlier, I'm going to move into daily uploads in the off season when I have a lot more time, and then hopefully carry that into next year. But from a strictly like league standpoint, I just hope that we learn from all the things that have happened this year, and then if we can play on land, that's the best case scenario. Obviously there's a lot more that goes into that other than hopes and wishes. So if the ability to play on land does come up, even in a restricted setting, like we mentioned with a bubble, or if there's like one event that we get to play randomly, that's fine with me. I just think that the competitive atmosphere of this year hasn't really been the best. And I think that a lot of players are starting to get a little antsy. I don't know if you saw Austin's tweets, but he's talking about retiring for the year if we go online. So I think players are very frustrated with the certain situation that we're in. So
we lost karma, dude.
We haven't even talked about Damon, dude. Oh man, we haven't even talked about.
Let's talk about Damon.
Let's talk about Barlow, man.
Let's talk about Barlow.
That guy is. I teamed with him for a very restricted amount of time in a not great atmosphere, but he is one of my favorite teammates I've ever had.
I think everybody can say that.
He's an enigma. He is an enigma. That's the only word I could use to describe him as accurately as possible. He is an enigma. He just does whatever he wants, and he's the GOAT, dude. He mentioned in our podcast, because he was just on the Eavesdrop a couple of weeks ago, that that some of the stuff that he said about the team itself, is that true? Did he say anything that wasn't there? Like, is it truly that there wasn't any communication at times, and that people had sort of given up, that if he shows up, he's ready to go? I mean, we've gone through a lot of iterations this year with how we've been performing. I wouldn't say any of the things that he said were like blatant lies. We had troubles with like him getting up and stuff like that happened every now and then, but I think that was towards when he already made the decision that he really didn't want to play anymore. So I can't fault him for that. But yeah, there were days where we'd get on and all 5 of us would just waste each other's time, and there was just no point. Like that, we've underperformed so much this year that like some days we just don't want to play. But you know, now that we're gearing up for champs, I think over the last couple of days we've been absolutely obliterating people in scrims. I think we're a scrim team. I think I've come to that conclusion today. We didn't lose a map in scrims today, and I've drawn the conclusion that we're a scrim team. That's pretty great.
I believe it. You know,
I mean, yeah, I don't. Nothing he said was a lie. No.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just a weird year. To top it off, you add, you know, COVID. To top it off, you add like everybody's. Yeah, I mean, look, man. Obviously, Slasher is super talented. So when he says that he's going to retire, I take that with a grain of salt. I don't think so.
I don't think he actually will.
Nah, me either. Like, no, he's too big of a competitor to even. I bet you he hated saying that. You know, like.
This game drives him insane.
Yeah. It's let's end it on a good note. Let's end it on something fun. Do you remember gambling with me at the Asper's Casino?
All of that money. I threw it on black law. Actually, no. This is what happened. So I was betting, for everyone that doesn't know, or no one would know, but I was betting behind Hector in blackjack. I made, what did I get up to? Like $900 or something, or 900 pounds from like 20. Got all the way up. I took it over to a roulette table, and I threw it down when the ball was already spinning, and he took my money without, you know, I couldn't place the bet, obviously. So I had to like get security come out and like give me my biscuit back. A biscuit is $1,000 chip. I had to get security come give me my chip back. And then I threw it on black during that, and I was like, it hit red. I was like, it's going to hit black. Like, that was just bad luck. Lost it all.
You just kept on betting red or black? Yeah,
I bet black again and then lost it all.
I've hit black 13 times in a row at the Elgin Casino.
Let me tell you this. That casino is the best and worst luck that I've ever had. So that same night, before I came up and started betting behind you, I had played the roulette table with Casey, my current teammate. We were 8 for 8. He picked the table, I picked the color. 8 for 8. And I lost the last one that mattered.
No.
Yeah, dude, I started 20 all the way up.
When you bet behind me, I'm like, oh, dude, we're going to win. Like, I had good vibes when you got there.
We were killing it.
Yeah.
We were killing it.
You got there, I'm like, oh, we're going to win this shit. Zero chance that we don't. And we just went on this nasty run.
21-3.
And then your teammate fucking gets there, and immediately I'm like,
Yeah, you got to get up. Did you get up?
No, I wanted to. I should have. I just felt.
Did you lose?
No, I started to lose. But you know, but he came to the table with like excellent vibes, but something happened in that very moment where I was just like,
it's the juju in the casino, man.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. Octane, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for making the time. We will do this again in person, hopefully sometime in the near future if the climate allows for it. Any closing comments? Anything you want to say?
Just to appreciate you allowing me to come on. I've watched again pretty much every episode, so finally being able to come on and talk it's been a good time, man.
Anytime. I hope that we do it very soon here in the future in person. It'll be a good one. Again, I want to give a quick shout out to Hims before we sign out, and also DoorDash. Thank you for supporting. Obviously, my favorite headset of all time, the Turtle Beach Elite Pro, and the first one's right there. My first headset ever is right there.
Wait, sidebar, I still have the ones that you made us when you signed the speaker tags on the sides.
Did you see the ones that I just did?
Oh, I know. You spray painted them, right?
Yeah, look.
Yeah. I saw the Instagram story. Don't you worry. But I still have the Octane on the side of mine.
Again, I create, man. There's zero chance that I don't win Content Creator of the Year. I create everything.
It's a good bid. This whole interview was a good bid. That's all.
You know what I'm saying? All right, buddy. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like, leave a comment, and share it with somebody who you think might appreciate this. We'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.